Good evening and welcome to the Gingerbets Golf Betting Insights YouTube channel. I'm Jack, your regular host on the YouTube channel, and today we've got a special guest, a young golf betting prodigy, Danny Speck. Danny's been backing winners left, right and centre over the last few years. I've been following him closely on Twitter and he's been kind enough to join us on the show today, something I'm really excited about. Danny's got some incredible wins in his portfolio. Even in recent times, got Tom Hoagie at Pebble Beach, 66-1. Matsuyama at the Zozo, 20-1. Patrick Cantlay at the BMW Championships, just to name a few in the recent weeks. So hopefully Danny's going to be sharing some winners with us on the show tonight. For those of you that are new to the format, we're hoping that we're going to be going through our best lays. We're going to go through our best bets, our 5 or 6 selections for this week's players, and we'll share many other snippets throughout the course of the night. So bear with us. It's the first time that we've done this show together and the first time that we've done the live streaming. So we'll do our best, but please bear with us if there's a few hiccups along the way. But welcome, Danny.
Welcome. Good to join you, Jack. Looking forward to sharing some picks.
Plenty of research done ahead of today?
Yeah, yesterday and a lot of today as well. Let's get some winners.
Well, I'm hoping that you bring a change of look. I hope the new show, the new format brings a change of look, because it's been a dismal 2 or 3 weeks for Gingerbets followers and certainly those on the YouTube channel. So I'm hoping that you're the super substitute that comes in and scores the winner first time out.
You've had a few seconds, so you've been unlucky. You'll be doing the right things.
Well, that's what we try and tell ourselves.
You've got to do.
So we'll get straight into it. We don't want to keep people waiting too long tonight, 10, 15 minutes, hopefully, and we'll get through plenty of selections. So we'll kick off with our best lays. Most people talking about the best bets for the week, but first off, let's have a look at the best lays. So who have you got for me in terms of who you'd want to avoid at the top of the market?
The one I want to avoid at the top of the market, he's got great course form. He's won here in 2019. He won here, but what I saw on the weekend wasn't great. And I don't think Rory McIlroy can win this week. I think you can lay him around 20-1, and he's not for me this week.
Brave choice. A previous winner has missed 2 cuts out of his last 3 visits, though. I can see the reasons behind it for sure. Albeit his tee to green game was good last week, but no, I can see you. Well, I'll go a bit safer than Rory for my best lay. I think DJ is definitely a lay for me, even though he's an enticing price at 40-1. When's the last time we saw him at that? I just feel that you have to arrive at this tournament in good form and all parts of your game in solid state, and he's not proven that to me.
He tempted me a little bit at his price, I'm not going to lie. Him and Koepka both stood out to me quite a bit, but I've not picked them, so...
Koepka carries a lot of pain for me.
I can see why he'd lay DJ at the minute, though. He didn't look great at the Genesis.
Any other thoughts on lays at the top of the market?
If Rahm would have stayed around the 11-12-1 price, I'd have said him, but he's just into a price now that I think you won't see Rahm often at that price, and I can see people backing this week and tipping him.
Yeah, no, I can too. I think that his price is fair, biggest that we've seen him in a long time. One thing that I've noticed about Rahm, and one of the things that came out in my research, key range 100 to 150 yards. He doesn't really dial it in there at all. He's been poor for the last 24, 36 rounds, and I think you need to be on top form with your wedges and 9-iron in hand this week. So, yeah, I can agree with that lay. If I was going to throw one more in at the top of the market, it's going to shock many, but it'd be Colin Morikawa. Probably one of my favourite lays for the week. I'm just not quite sure that the second time out he can do it. 41st last year. I think that you have to have played this course, plenty of times. No one's won it second time out. So I'd be against him, and I'm sure plenty will be keen on him. So,
well, if we're going to go into it, main pick for me, Morikawa, as funny as it should be. Main pick. Think he's the best bet of the week. Key stat for me this week, strokes gained tee to green. And he ranks 3rd on that over the last 12 months through the top 150 in the world. He arrives here in form. He has 6 top 10s in his last 8 starts, including a win in 2 seconds. He's had a bit of time off, which I don't think...
You're putting me in my place here, aren't you, quite clearly?
I don't think it's an issue that he's had a bit of time off. He won the DP World Championship after having 4 weeks off, and he was second in the CJ Cup after having 6 weeks off. And to go along with all these as well, which backs it up, 2 correlating courses, TPC Twin Cities, which is hosting the 3M Open. He was second in the 2019 edition of that. And also he won the WGC at Concession last year, which is also a correlating course to Sawgrass. 16-1 this morning. Didn't last.
Making a compelling case. Well, how about I'll do you a favor. If you want to find an extra few quid on it, I'll boost him to 20-1 for a max bet of £10 for you. So Gingerbets special. If you want to take me up on it, he's my lay of the week along with DJ. So I'll let you have that if you fancy it.
I'll take that 100%.
Okie doke. Well, so they're the two lays that I think we both want to consider each. DJ for me and Morikawa, and then for Danny, we've got Rory. It's a brave lay, but I can see the reasons behind. So more importantly for the viewers and the listeners, let's get to our selections. Who's going to win the Players' Championship, the most competitive field of the year, the elite, the one they all want outside the majors, a big prize pool. Who's going to win it? Well, take me through your top 5 picks, Danny.
Okay, well, the first one I've just gone through is Morikawa.
Yeah.
My second one, he was 35-1 this morning. It's soon vanished. You can still get 28-1, I believe. He is a tee to green machine. He's 7th on it over the last 12 months. He has 2 top 10s at Sawgrass. He was leading at the Players in 2020 before COVID struck and it got suspended with a 7-under score in round 1. And he also played very well in the last round of the Arnold Palmer on Sunday. He gained 5 strokes in the field tee to green, which is also a good indicator. And I think 35-1 was way too big for a player like that. He's won 3 times in the last year.
Yeah. It was certainly on my radar. I know you're going to say here, and the rest of the world, so outside the Americans, they've got a decent record here, 4 or 5 wins in the last 8 visits to the Players. So you don't have to keep me waiting any longer. I've got a feeling I know this one. Yeah,
my next one. I'm a big fan of him. He lets me down a lot, but I am a big fan still. 45-1, I backed him at. Sung Jae Im. I think you can still get around 40-1 for him. He topped the Pied 5 scoring stats for last season by 22 shots, which is massive, although he did play a lot. He played a lot of tournaments, to be fair to him. He has good Florida form, an encouraging 17th here last year, which doesn't look great, but it's not a bad second time round. Over his last 9 starts, he has 1 win and he has 3 top 10s. And to back this up, he also has 2 top 10s at Sedgefield Country Club, which is the Wyndham Championship. Which is another correlating course of Sawgrass this week.
Yeah. No, you make a compelling case for sure. My problem with Sunjay is in the past, he's dominated this Florida swing and been absolutely incredible. And I've not seen those signs in his game. He's been in the 20th, 30th range the last few weeks. He's not quite dialed it in as I would expect. He was certainly a player that I wanted to consider for this week. I was looking at him 3 or 4 weeks ago when Betfair opened their market, but I just couldn't quite pull the trigger. But no, I can see the reasons why for sure.
I think he's a player who can pop up at any given time. I think and he's only 23 still, which is
he's underrated by the betting market all the time. I think in general the Asian players do get underrated and by the market. And certainly players that I look to. I think Hideki's a case in point this week.
I don't see how he's not 25-1 or 25-1 would be the right price for Hideki. Let's see him this week.
So go on, who are you on to next?
The 4th pick, bit of recency bias with this one. He played really well yesterday in the Arnold Palmer. He was first in approach on the final round. He actually has 4 top 10s in his last 5 starts. He's always been a great iron player and he's also a good putter, to be honest. But he's a bit of a hothead. Latin 50-1.
Yeah, he is a hothead, but he's an elite level putter. And his iron game is so underrated. When his iron game's on, he hits bullets at the tee. He's not a great shaper of the ball, left or right. But I don't think you need to be here at Sawgrass. I think if you play to the right parts of the fairways or even miss them in the right areas, it'll give you good access to those pins. And one thing about him, you have to be aggressive here, I think. It's kind of patience, but when you get the opportunity, you definitely have to be aggressive, take advantage. And he does that. That's his style of golf. if he's going to win tournaments, it's going to be these 14, 15, 16 under par events.
And the thing with Cyril Hatton is, as well, is unlike Fleetwood or Fitzpatrick, I think Hatton can win the big events across the pond.
Oh, I'm not so sure about one of your comments there. I'll come to that in a minute when I reveal my 5 selections. But
he won the Arnold Palmer in 2020. They were terrible conditions as well. I think he won it with 4 under.
Yeah.
I just think that I was on him in Abu Dhabi and Dubai at the start of the year, and he could have won both them events, to be honest. He wasn't even playing that well. So I think he can win this week. And I think 50 to 1 is a good price.
And your bigger price ones, hit me with them.
Your outsiders, the prices have come in a little bit. Taylor Gooch, 80 to 1. He was 5th in this event last year. He ranked 4th on approach and 10th tee to green in the whole tournament.
Yeah.
The par 5 scoring stats this season, he tops them. And I think the par 5s this week quite gettable. You have to score well on those.
You have to score well on them. Yeah, no, I agree totally.
I mean, I was on JT last year and he demolished the par 5s on Saturday and Sunday last year.
Yeah.
And another correlating course, Sea Island, which hosts the RSM. Gooch won that last year.
Yeah.
And I think I got him at 80 to 1, and I think the price just seemed too big when I compared.
No one likes to show off when you're on the show for the first time, 80 to 1, what a snippet. No, I'd buy that ticket off you. I would not hesitate. He's a world-class player. He's a top 10 player in the world for me in the future.
When you compare him to players who were 50 to 1, 40 to 1, who just I don't think are as good as him.
Yeah.
Then you just that's one of the reasons you can back these players at these prices, to be honest. And then my last pick, I mean, this price vanished immediately, really. Corey Connors at 100 to 1. I think you can get 66 to 1 now.
Well, I've put some stats up for the viewers because he's someone I've considered as an outsider as well. You can see it there. I mean, look at that.
I think it's just 100 to 1 was just ridiculous. I don't know what Paddy Power were doing, to be honest.
Yeah,
he was 7th in this last year. He played well yesterday, the Arnold Palmer. He's just a brilliant iron player, and if he just needs to put well. If he puts well, he'll contend on Sunday. I'm confident of that.
No, I could.
100 to 1 with 8 places. You can't turn that down.
Out of all the players above 50 to 1, he was first on my radar. I think last week I even texted, didn't we? And when the market opened with Paddy Power, not often at 9 o'clock at night you leave the house to go and take advantage of a price, but there was 2 players. And one of them was Connors, as we know. So the other
as well.
Yeah, Billy Horschel, but unfortunately, I've lost a little faith on him this week. He's not made the final portfolio, but I did run out to back him for small stakes prior to sort of all the markets opening. Good portfolio. I'm liking it. I'll just put it back up for anyone that's wanting to have a look there. So we've got Colin Morikawa, my best lay, Danny's top tip. He's got a 20 to 1 special, £10 max, by the way. I want to eat next week. I don't want to be out of home and food. So £10 max on that 20 to 1. We've got Hideki 35 to 1, 9 places, I think, with Hills. Sunjay 45 to 1, Hatton 50 to 1, Gooch 80 to 1, and Corey Connors 100 to 1. Rounding out his portfolio. Well, I think that's pretty impressive. The only one I'd be taking on, like I say, would be Colin. I just think he's too short considering Rahm's at the same price, JT are previous winners at the same price, and Rahm shown form on these technical tracks of Pete Dye, something that Colin's not quite yet done for me. But I think better test lie ahead for him. I do think he'll win 6, 7, 8 majors, but I do think better tides lie ahead. So for me then, I'll hit you with mine. Headlining for me, Daniel Berger. Yeah, people won't like that, but what I like about Berger is I think he's patient and I think he's an underrated golfer in general. I think he's got the type of temperament to win a tournament like this. He's got 3 top 10s this year already, which I think shows his game's in good form. He should have probably won a few weeks back. If you look at those first 3 rounds, Justin Thomas doesn't go around making tweets about other players unless they're blowing his mind. And that ball striking performance for 3 rounds, 2 weeks back from Berger, was up there with whatever you've seen on the PGA Tour over the past 6 months, I'd say.
I couldn't believe what I've seen on the Sunday, to be honest. I don't know what happened with him there.
It was poor, but I'm willing to forgive him.
I've never been a massive fan of Berger. I think his swing is very ugly. He's a good ball striker, we know that, but when he gets to these prices, he's sometimes 28 to 1, 33s in these sort of fields. I just can't have him for that.
Well, look, he won at Pebble last year at 16 to 1, or 28 to 1. Someone dropped out, and I think he ended up at 16 to 1. He can compete with the best of them. He's going to be challenging the major championships for me this year. He hits loads of fairways, and what I like, his game's so consistent right now, and I can't say that for many of the players around him. That would be my reason for sort of laying him, or not laying him, but being against him. Just not quite as consistent as his elite standard is. His baseline, I don't think him's reaching right now, where I think Berger's right on it. So he'll be my first selection. Second selection, he'll be a player that you love. I don't tip him up often, but he's at a price now that I feel's fair, and that's Xander Schauffele. 28 to 1, 8 places available. He's usually 20, 22, 18s when all these places become available. And he's actually playing okay. He's 6 in tee to green performance, I think, over the last 24 rounds. He's in the top 10 in green and regulations game. And bogey avoidance, he sits high up in the rankings. So I just think his price is fair this week.
I think if you know me, and you know who I bet on a lot, I've done a lot of money on Xander over the last 2 years.
Well, so is everyone in the world. He's the most overbet player, and probably other than Ricky Fowler. But I think he's now a backable price. So
if he wins this week, I will be sick. I will be sick this week. But good luck.
Well, I hope that you'll be in sick Sunday night. Then I want him badly.
I haven't taken the 22 off you.
Third one, I'm gonna shock you here, but you'd mentioned him before. You think he's better. Hatton is better than him. Fitzpatrick arrives here, 3 top 10s in a row, 9th place finish last year, in the form of his life. And when you talk about winning this event, you have to have every part of your game in top order. So that's off the tee, approach play, around the greens, and putting. He's probably the best putter on the whole of the tour right now.
I agree with that.
And he's gaining strokes in all of the departments. His approach play, he's only gaining a little, about quarter of a stroke around. If he has a decent approach week this week, and he's doing this and finishing the top 10, well, last week's field wasn't bad on a brutal track. His performance, he could have won that. You know, he was in the mix on that back 9. He was certainly in the mix when he was 3 under. When we saw that winning score at 5 under, you know, he was definitely in the mix. And I just think he's got the temperament. Underrated by many. I think his price is a bit short, if I'm being truthful, but I also think that's a reflection of how good he's doing, and I'm not going to let that put me off. So he's the next one for me.
The thing for me is, in golf, you have the players who have that sort of killer instinct. Koepka, DJ, and when you compare the English lads, I think Hatton has that. And like I said, I don't think Fitzpatrick or Fleetwood, I think he's one of the most overrated golfers there is, to be honest.
I hope you're not watching, Tommy.
When was his last win? The Nedbank Challenge 2019. I mean,
when was Brooks's last win, though, if you think he's better outside the majors? The guy's won 4 PGA Tour events. I mean, I'm a big Brooks fan, but, you know, I suppose he'll want this one his CV. This means a lot.
Because you win 4 majors, you don't have to say much, do you, really? That's the thing.
No, it's very true. I'm not so sure he's going to add to it this year, though.
No, I agree with that. I don't think. I think he'll have a good Open at the St Andrews, but other than that, I'm not too sure.
That is the one that I do fancy him for, if any of them. Well, rounding it out for me, I'll go. It's another major champ, and this guy has proven he can do it under pressure and under the gun. They all talk about Rory. They all go mad for him, but this guy did it in his home country. He lifted the claret jug. He's in a decent form. Again, challenged a few weeks back. Could have got over the line. He was leading with 6 to play. Didn't quite get the job done. But I think he's in a good form, and he's got form for stringing performances together. I like his game. Moves the ball both ways off the tee. Not the best driver, but an elite level approach game. He's improved so much. People talk about his short game. I've heard it from many a person now that his iron game is something that Lowry rates himself as high as his short game. So he's got confidence in that. 9th in green regulations over the last 24 rounds. 10th in tee to green performance on Pete Dye courses. Top 15 in bogey avoidance and scrambling. 45 to 1 seems fair with 9 places available. He'll be my final bet of the week. So
should have won the Honda, Lowry.
He should have won the Honda, yeah.
Didn't make a bogey on Sunday and still didn't win it somehow. I'm not sure how he didn't. managed to. But the rain that came late on at the Honda, I think.
Yeah, I mean, well, he had no chance of reaching the green in 2, did he, on the par 5? It changed the state of play. You're lying on a wedge play, the wind up in brutal conditions. Look, gods were against him that day, but I like his attitude, and I think that he's got a chance this week. So that's it. That's my portfolio for the week. Well, it's been interesting. We've agreed on some. We've clashed horns on others, but I won't.
Games of players there, though. To be honest.
Yeah, it's an incredible event, isn't it? Anyone can win it. When you look at the past winners, you got people like Webb Simpson can't hit it off the tee but wins it. You got Siwoo, gosh knows what his game's about. When he's on, he's on. When he's not on, he's like a 6 handicap. Yeah. And then you've got Rory, world number 1.
I think there's a stat actually I've got here. 6 of the 8 players in this field who have won this event missed the cut prior to winning. So I think that backs up that anyone can win this event. I think it's wide open. And the betting always proves that as well.
Yeah. No, it's interesting. Any love for JT at the top? He's never missed a cut here, a third and a win.
I mean, obviously I was on him last year, and I'd sometimes have a bit of a thing about backing players going back to back at an event.
No one's ever done it, have they? So
yeah, that's the thing, and there's always a trend against it.
No one's finished in the top 10, I think, on return from what I can see over the last 10 years.
I think JT will be in and around the top 10, but I'd rather back Morikawa at the prices.
No. Well, for those of you that have been tuning in, all the odds are scrolling across the bottom for the top 60, 70 players in the market. We haven't been able to fit them all on. And Danny's portfolio is there for you to see. It's a decent one this week. We'll be back next week to review what's gone on this week, and hopefully we'll be talking about a winner or two. If you've enjoyed the show, then please do me a favor. If you're on YouTube, like, subscribe to the channel. If it's the first time you've come across it, there's also the Gingerbets Golf Betting Insights newsletter that you can get. All that's in the description box below. You'll be able to follow Danny. Danny, what's your Twitter handle? It's definitely worth a follow.
At Danny_Speck. Simple as that.
There you go, at Danny_Speck. So that's definitely worth a follow. Proven to back winners time and time again across both tours as well. Danny tips them up on the Euro Tour as well. Not something that I look at. So if you're into your golf, then please do follow Danny. I'll post the Twitter handle in the description box of the YouTube video below. Thanks for listening. Gone on slightly longer than we anticipated, but I hope you've got value for money. Don't forget, like, subscribe, share, and we'll be back to bring you more of this content. Danny, any final words from yourself?
Good luck, everybody. Morikawa wins, Matsuyama second. There you go.
Well, that won't happen, but wishful thinking. Good luck, everyone. Thanks for listening, and we'll speak to you next week. Have a great week. Bye for now.
Thanks, guys.